Hello, fellow Pampered Chef consultants. This is Diana Kasperzak in Mora, Minnesota, and I am going to do a short video here about how to organize your business using a 3-ring binder. Now, I've decided to call this Phase 1 because this is like an emergency organization method to get yourself started. Later down the road, you can fine-tune and create other binders. But from my own experience, I can tell you that this binder will really get you started right away. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I want to go over is talking about the supplies that you will need. You will need a 3-ring binder, and I chose a very sturdy one. It has a D ring, and so if you are not familiar with a D ring, it is shaped like a D. And the advantage of a D-ring binder is that the pages turn very easily. They don't get stuck, they don't buckle. Mine is a 1.5 inch 3-ring binder. So that is the first thing that you will need. Then you will need some plastic sheet protectors. And these are the ones that I used. Now, if I had known that I was going to be shooting a video, I probably would have chosen the non-glare. But that's up to you. So mine was a box of 100, and that's what I used. Now, in addition to this, I also am using some Scotch tape, a knife, a pair of scissors, and let's see, it's a chisel tip Sharpie permanent marker. And of course, you will need your tabs as well. Now what I have, and it was totally just fine what I needed, I have got 3 sets of 5 cut tabs. And I chose the colored ones just because they're more fun to look at. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to talk about each phase of the binder. On the front cover, I decided to put in the most current Pampered Chef catalog. It's always nice to have an extra one hidden away somewhere in case you run out. You could always take that one out of your binder. On the inside, on the left-hand pocket, I keep sales receipts, just a few extra. Now you know that when you're taking this binder to a show that you have sales receipts in every packet. But if for some reason there were more guests than you had counted for, you would always have some extra sales receipts. I keep a post-it pad right there in the front, and I try to keep this area very uncluttered, because once it starts to get cluttered, you really aren't going to remember what's in there, or you won't be able to find what you need when you need it. Now, when you talk about organizing your business, it is really a great thing with the binder because you can take this binder to the dining room table. You can take it to your desk. You can take it wherever it is that you are going to be making your calls. And on the front section, before any of the tabs, I have promotions and programs. March, April, and May. And so at a glance, I can see what the host specials and what the guest specials are. When I get my consultant news each month, I sit down, I go through the whole little newsletter, and when I'm done reading it, I start tearing it apart. And I start using those sheets in my binder to keep it updated every month. You'll be seeing more of that as we go. On the next page, 3-2-1, Success Plan. I like to keep this in front of me because I know that the 3-2-1 plan truly will lead to success in the Pampered Chef business. And I am keeping this as my model, my reminder that 3 contacts a day, 2 shows a week, 1 recruit a month. On the next page, I just keep a newsletter activity report, which is so wonderful with your website. And this will eventually move to my binder that I will be using for my phone calls and my contacts. I did include in this section the new products brochure. I wanted to keep that handy just so that I can be studying what the new products are and have a good handle on them. Moving ahead here now, we're moving to our first tab, which is host and guest specials. So now we go to this tab, and in here I have taken again from the consultant news, and I have put them in here. I've also gone to the website and I've printed off additional copies. So I've got the March host special. On the back side, the March guest special. The April host and guest special, and then all the way to the May. So I've always got 3 months worth of host and guest specials. And if you're kind of new in running your business, or if you're new in really doing a good job of it, sometimes you know it's really hard to remember all these, so you have them right there. This next section, my second tab, I call it Host Forms. And in this, I really have only got a couple of things right now. But if we zoom in, we see we've got the host packet checklist. And this is something that I made for myself just because I really work well off of a checklist. When there's a lot going on, it's just nice not to have to think too much about what goes into a host packet. So there it is. And I have copies of those, and I put that on every host packet that I put together. And then the host checklist, I got this off of the Consultant's Corner, I believe, and this is wonderful. It's got all the information, even directions that you write down how to get to your host's house. And so I'm starting to use these, and again, it's a form. Forms always make running your business so much easier. The next section is, by the way, over here on the back side, you can see there I have my extra of my host packet checklist. The next section is labels. Now labels, they will vary from consultant to consultant. And these are some of the labels that I have put together. When I send out my invitations, I actually don't have a return address on it. I just simply make these really tiny mini address labels, and I put that in the return address, and it simply says a Pampered Chef cooking show and you're invited. And so that's one label that I use. This one is the one that I use on the front of my catalog. And this is a 2x4-inch label, and I just put those on the catalog, and then I use a stamp on the back side. This next page here, it just says, thank you for attending a Pampered Chef show. I'd be delighted to serve you again. It has my name, my phone number, my email address, and the website. And this is helpful. I like to use this on my Season's Best catalog. So when I give these recipe books, when I give these away at a cooking show or to my host, then they always have my contact information there with them. Now there might be other labels that you want to make. This one is similar to the other one. Thank you for placing a Pampered Chef order. Basically the same thing. I'd be delighted to serve you again. You can use these labels on the back of recipe cards and any kind of literature that you're handing out. The next section is called Guest Packet. And I don't have a lot in here right now, but these are the things I'm using. So the guest care card that Karen has made up, I've modified it just a little bit, and that goes into every single packet. So I'm just going to show you here. This is my packet, my lapboard that are ready for a cooking show. And it's so easy now because I have a cupboard where I have my catalogs, and the catalogs all stamped, all labeled, and then the stack of the sales receipts, and then right here in my binder, my guest care card. I never have to run to my printer and make off more of the labels or the guest care cards. They're always right here together with my business card. So there might be more that I will put in here, but right now that's really all I have. Product lists. In here, I like to just keep a copy of the alphabetical product list. This one is the product list by price, item number, and the wish list. And I have to say, when I go to a cooking show and I know that these lists are right here in my 3-ring binder, that I could find it within 3 seconds, that it just takes a lot of pressure off of me, of feeling like I have to know the product number, I have to know the prices, because it's all right here. The next section is getting into the second set of tabs. The first one that I have here is games. And I have to be honest with you, I'm not very good at incorporating games into my cooking shows, but this is an area that I intend to work with this coming year. And so as I see games posted, I will be printing them off and putting them in this section. My next section is called recipes. Now, I want to say this is not the section where I keep all of my recipes that I want to try. I collect so many recipes that I would have probably like a box full. But this tab only gets recipes that I am currently using at a cooking show, or something that I am definitely going to be trying. For example, this one right here, the Greek chicken and artichoke flatbread. I actually experimented, and I did that one last night. So this one will soon be incorporated into a cooking show. And then some others that I have done, white chicken chili. I don't have all of them in here, but I put a few. And so the pull-apart pizza. The next one is the product info tab. And right now, the only